Oh,
Rocky,
never wants to talk before.
here comes the marker.
We do no prep. He's flying off the cuff.
Hello and welcome. Yeah, I'm going to keep going. Hello and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted, and let's get some zombie-looking people tree things coming at us.
This week, Ted and I took on the Gorge. It is 2 hours and 7 minutes, and for those technical people out there, that would be 127 minutes.
There we go.
So, right? You think I did that real fast in my head, but I didn't. I looked it up, and it gave me both options. So, I am taking a page out of the Elon Musk playbook of sounding smart and just regurgitating shit now. Pardon me.
He made it political. Not me for once.
No. I've come to, I listen to other podcasts, and he's been on a lot lately. And so he was on Joe Rogan about a month or so ago, and he sat there for 10 minutes talking about Kraft sliced cheese. Because, it's not really cheese. To be cheese, it's got to have at least 51% milk in it, and sliced cheese doesn't have 51% milk in it, so you can't call it cheese. And if you were to take an open flame and hold it under the cheese, the slice, it would burn and not melt. Therefore, it is not cheese. Okay, that was him for 10 minutes talking about sliced cheese.
And Joe Rogan was just blown away.
Oh, he was.
Joe,
tell me more, Elon. You're so awesome.
Let me do an impression of Joe Rogan. You say something that is an actual fact, and I go, are you sure that's true? Well, I had this buck hunter that also has a minor in sociology from a community college, and he said that this is the truth. That's a lot of what I hear when I hear Joe Rogan.
Well, he called him, I read an article where Joe Rogan called him a psychopath on the spectrum.
Accurate.
Well, but, hail still Elon, because he said in the context, you don't want to mess with a psychopath on the spectrum. That was his context. So anyway, yeah, I'm not a fan of Joe Rogan. I got nothing on a personal, but on the... it just gets me because he's got an audience. There's no question.
Yeah,
but it makes me sad, though, that he has an audience, because if that's the kind of dribble that they like, then they're not going to be fans of this show.
You want to know what I want to hear Joe Rogan talk about?
I just alienated 9 million listeners of Joe Rogan.
Here's what I want to tune in to hear Joe Rogan talk about. MMA, comedy, and conspiracy alien theories. That's it. I don't care any of your views about anything else.
Well, I don't think he has a view. I think he just seems excited about people and things. And you get the impression that he's on board with it. He's very non-committal in my mind, other than watching videos on YouTube. Because he'll go, did you see that video on YouTube?
Yeah,
Or did you see that video where that kid took a firecracker and stuck it in the fish's mouth and then threw it back in the water? Yeah, that was cool.
And then he'll say something like, in the book about biblioteca, blah, 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 whatever he's talking about, lost civil. It's just drivel.
Yeah, well,
but if you're a meathead aggro dude, you really love it.
I get so amused just watching Joe Rogan get excited over whoever's on the show spilling whatever they're spilling. But I'm not going there. We've already gone too deep into that.
My wife says that I secret listen, and I go, yes, I listen to him talk about MMA. I like listening to the MMA stuff.
Right.
But none of the rest of it.
None. He's like a kid in a candy store or a toy store.
He's like your stoned friend from high school that's like, oh, yeah? Cool, man. Oh, listen to this crazy theory.
He's just, he's just in awe of the world. He just is. He's just, all right. I had no intention of going down the Joe Rogan hole this morning or the Elon, but I did look it up, and I'm just regurgitating because that's what Elon does, is just regurgitate stuff. But that's for another show on a different network. Anyway, let's get back to this one, Ted. This is The Gorge, Apple TV. It's an original. Like I said, 127 minutes or 2 hours and 7 minutes. However you want to look at it, starring Miles Teller, Anya, Taylor-Joy, Sigourney, well, what the parents is from, Sigourney Weaver, Samantha Coughlin, William Houston, and Soap Dersu. I looked that up. I did the Google pronunciation of that. What it said? And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it said. So anyway, you want to take some a synopsis? Provide our listeners with a synopsis.
Okay, so there's two towers, one on the east and one on the west side of this gorge, and it's been being guarded since World War II. And so on the west side, they have a Russian, which is Anya Taylor-Joy. And on the east side, they have Miles Teller. And they are expert, what do you call them? The soldiers of fortune.
Well, they're snipers.
They're snipers, but they're soldiers of fortune.
Yeah, they're
mercenaries.
Yeah.
So they're protecting. Don't let anything out of the gorge. And in the gorge are these like creature things that look like zombie tree things.
Yeah.
And you find out that they. Well, I don't want to ruin that. Anyway, they're down in the gorge, and eventually they fall down in the gorge and go.
Well, the zombie things are trying to get out of the gorge. And they're not very smart because they try to climb up the gorge instead of going out the ends.
Yeah. True.
No, it is true.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like this. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to throw this out. This was, go ahead and say it. This was directed by Scott Derrickson.
Whose work I really enjoy.
Oh, this guy.
He's a killer.
He is. I mean, he's Ted and I are well, I guess we're probably equal in the way of level of friendship with a horror director, Aaron Mertz. And I when I was doing the background on Mr. Derrickson here, I was looking, I was like, oh my God, this is Aaron Mertz in the making. I mean, or Aaron Mertz is him in the making. Scott has directed The Black Phone. I think he actually co-wrote that.
He co-wrote all of it.
He started as a writer.
Sinister, which is one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, and Black Phone 2 is coming out here in October. There you go. Now, for us of the milder taste in movies, he's also the director of Doctor Strange, and then he started Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but there were some creative differences, and he walked away and remained as an executive producer. But this guy is really good, and you could tell.
It's very well directed, and I thought.
I don't think, and I'm just gonna put it out there. I bet he didn't do. I guess best way to put it is his directing duties with Anya were probably easy because she probably understood everything he said the first time and did it. And then again, she probably, because I just hold her in the highest esteem, she probably did it the first time in a manner that was, okay, that worked.
I would agree. They're both really good actors.
I think this is from Miles' standpoint. I've seen him in stuff, but I think this is the projects that's going to get him really noticed. I know Top Gun Maverick got him noticed, and you can look at his IMDb and see that there's an uptick in projects. I mean, he's got 3 of them. I think it was that are in post-production, after this one. So he's been really, really busy since Top Gun Maverick. And by the way, Miles Teller, he played Rooster in Top Gun Maverick.
He's also in Whiplash.
The son of Goose, yeah.
Spectacular Now.
The War. War Dogs with Jonah Hill.
He's a really good actor.
So
I don't think he takes a single note.
My issue with Miles, if there is one, he's just so baby faced. I mean,
think?
yeah, I do. I he's 37 years old, and I barely buy him as an adult. I mean, you think about it. He's 37 years old, and he pulled off what would probably be anywhere from 22 to 26-year-old pilot in Top Gun Maverick.
So did Glenn Powell.
So, yeah.
And Glenn Powell couldn't look more like he's 37 years old.
But anyway, I don't know where to go, Ted. I love this movie. And I know you're shocked.
No, I'm shocked. I think this movie's great. I think this movie was a banger. I enjoyed it.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't want to say when they get in the mist what the whole thing is, but that was cool. It's got a lot of Doctor Strange sort of. The thing I can say is this is a full-blown action movie, but it's got a lot of dark horror in it.
What I enjoyed about this movie, and this is going to the writer and the director, you start out, this movie starts out as a typical movie does, and that is laying the groundwork, and you find out who these characters are, and you do so really quickly in this movie. Mm-hmm. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes, you know that both Anya's character and Miles's character are mercenaries. You find that out, boom, so quick. Okay, done. They're kind of lonely in this world. You find that out, boom, done. And then they get sent to the wall or to the tower, I guess you could say, and to the gorge. There you go. They get sent to the gorge, and for the next 30 minutes, there's no dialogue.
It was great.
There's no scripted dialogue. They sit and they look at each other. They have their actions and such, but they sit and look at each other across the gorge through binoculars, holding up signs to communicate to each other.
Yeah.
So, which, that was amazing because I'll be honest with you, the first 30 minutes of this movie was probably, the last 15 minutes of this movie and the first 30 minutes were probably the most captivating minutes for me. I mean, when they get down, and I can say this because it's in the trailers and all that, but when they get into the gorge, and there's all that action going on, I'm not going to say it was bad, but it was the least favorite part of this movie because I thought the story that they were conveying in that first 30 minutes and then the last 15 minutes was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved this movie. I thought it was one of my favorite action movies I've seen in a long time.
Long time. Apple hit it so far out of the park with this. It's refreshing because we've been watching some sleepers lately.
Duds.
I mean, I have been cheating on you, Tad. I've been watching other stuff. Just
wash the taste out of your mouth.
I have, man. I just finished the literally binged. And it's not a hard binge because each episode's only anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes in length, and that's the bookie on.
I can't get enough of it
on Max. So,
I've run through them all, and like
I said,
it's so good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a really entertaining show.
Well, you think about it. I mean, you can literally get 5 episodes, and there are only 8 of them in an hour because again, they're only 18 to 22 minutes long.
I mean, I love it. I love the show. I love everybody in the cast.
Yeah,
it's great.
Boom. We were out in Vegas and what's his name? Because I'm so good with nouns.
The lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comedian.
Maniscalco.
What?
Maniscalchus.
Yeah, something like he's a comedian. Anyway, he was performing in Vegas, and my wife wanted to go, and we didn't get tickets, but anyway, that problem will be rectified. We ended up going to Jimmy Kimmel's place.
Oh.
Yeah, on the promenade, and I forget who we watched, but he's a name. He was a name.
Yeah, okay.
And it was good. I mean, we stayed on that little promenade there, so it was really convenient as opposed to, I think he was playing at the Venetian.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Sebastian, yeah. He's awesome. Anyway, it's a great series. But
We've talked about this actual movie for about 4.5 minutes. That's the funniest part. That's the funniest part of this episode.
Oh, I'm getting back to it because I loved it. If you've listened to anything or listened to any of the other shows, and this is our second Anya movie. The first one was The Menu. My first exposure to Anya was in The Queen's Gambit.
Mine too.
And that was I still today think that was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life, not only from her performance standpoint, not only from the story standpoint, but the cinematography in that series is just ridiculous because they switch back from color to sepia tone to black and white, and it's just ridiculous, the DP on that. And that did it. But her performance is amazing, and her performance is amazing in this. Here's my problem with this movie, Ted. Did you have a problem before I start to unload?
I don't have any problem with this movie. The only thing I would say is I thought the things in the gorge looked like Last of Us.
Well, I don't know how you...
No problem with that.
Right.
It was like, I was like, I don't love that tree, mushroomy sort of like look.
Well, it was there.
It makes me feel gross on the inside.
Here's my problem with this movie. And I didn't have this problem until I thought about it during my second viewing of this movie. I watched it twice. My problem is that they made Miles Teller the lead in this movie. Think about it. The main focus was always from his tower to her tower, not from her tower to his tower. The only time we were really at her tower was when I can't. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying.
I do, but don't give these things away because
I'm not. But that was my biggest disappointment was in this, and it hit me the second time I was watching this movie, and I go, "Oh my God, you've got Anya Taylor, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Miles Teller." And he is the principal. And I say that in the sense of he had a little bit more screen time, but his tower is the focus in this show. I mean, everything's around him and his tower. And the second time I watched it, I go, that's what I didn't like the first time. I couldn't put my finger on it. Anya should have been the lead in this movie and not Miles. She should have been the one telling him what we need to do next.
But he has more star power.
No.
Yes.
Disagree.
Just straight up, the dude has been in multiple Oscar-nominated movies.
Yeah, she's an Oscar winner.
What did she win the Oscar for?
Did she not win?
No.
Did she not win an Oscar?
No.
Let's see here.
I would be willing to bet a lot of money she didn't win an Oscar.
Well, she's won awards. What has he won? Exactly. Yep, there you go. Taylor-Joy has received several accolades. She won the Empire Award for Best Newcomer, being nominated for the Saturn Award for Best Performance by a Younger Actor, and this was back in 2016. The following year, she was the nominee for the BAFTA Rising Star Award and the recipient of the Trophy Chopard. Taylor-Joy won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Miniseries, or Television Film, and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a miniseries, or television movie in 2021.
Okay.
Touche. Okay. Now, Anya Taylor-Joy should have been the lead in this movie. I'm not saying she's not a lead, but she should have been the lead. She should have been the Black Widow of this, and I'm saying that because Scott Derrickson is of the MCU universe. She should have been it. I mean, she should have been the one with all the plans and all the things. You know, Sigourney Weaver. I'm not giving anything away here. Not a spoiler. She shows up at the wall, but she shows up at his tower. She should have showed up at her tower. That's my point. That's what I didn't like about this movie, was that one thing. Now, I know I've been really aggressive with my tone and all that.
You seem like you had a lot of caffeine right before you
No, I'm bone dry, baby. And speaking of which, you know what? I took a closer look at that photo of your jug last week. That was sharp. I noticed, I took the look at, that was a custom-made jug.
My jug? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it had your movies and your things on it.
All of it.
I did not notice. I didn't notice that. Anyway, that was my only problem with this. Let's get some numbers on this real quick, Ted.
8.6.
8.9.
Boom.
Yeah, right?
I enjoyed it. I'll watch it again.
I will watch it a third and fourth time.
And I agree with you. The best part of the movie is when they're talking back and forth on the cue cards and shooting their guns to be funny.
Yeah.
And then they have really good chemistry.
They really did. I mean, again, that my only problem was that camera should have been in her tower more times than his. That's my only beef with this show, but I'm still throwing it out there. It's an 8.9. Hands down, the best thing I have watched that we've reviewed this year. So, matter of fact, you know what? It probably is the best thing I've watched so far this year. Because I'm gonna
this year it's for sure.
I'm gonna put it just a hair over touch.
So far this year, this is the best thing we've seen.
And I just watched that Andrew Garfield.
I haven't seen that yet.
And Something in Time or something like that with Florence Pugh. That was amazing too. So, but I'm gonna put this just barely over those two. So I'm there. So anyway, there you go. I'm a watch. Not only am I a watch, I'm a must watch. And if you don't have Apple TV,
get it.
Because all you have to do is, sign up, pay your $10, $10.99, right? Get 2 or 3 people there. It's the price of admission plus, or minus $20, and watch it. Then cancel your subscription if you don't want it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Because there's not very many movies or TV shows on Apple.
No. So I'm going to break away. I'm going to sidebar here. We haven't had a sidebar. Did you watch the SNL?
Not yet. I'm probably going to watch it later tonight.
Okay, I watched the SNL thing Sunday night with my wife. Loved it. It was great. And then this skit came up, and it's a skit from a reenactment of a skit way back when Will Ferrell was there. I believe he was there. He might have been hosting. But anyway, I kid you not, I perked up on my couch when I saw him come out on the stage. And I was like, holy crap, what is Ted Welch doing in this?
Am I going to even?
At first glance, I was like, oh my God, that's Ted Welch.
Thought that was me.
Yeah, right. I'm going to put it there, but I'll cut away to a
yeah, that's a great picture. This guy.
I did. I was fumbling getting my phone out of my pocket so I could take a picture of the TV screen. Oh, come on. Come on.
Sure.
That's not
if
an
I were
insult.
like 20 years older.
That's not, yeah, but and it's a bad picture because it's a picture of the television. So it's grainy and come on.
Whenever anybody says, oh my gosh, I think I saw you in something, and then they tell me and I'm like, that's not me.
Hey, Will Ferrell's not a bad person.
I love Will Ferrell.
Right?
On that note, I got to get out of here because there's a snowstorm coming.
I took my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm taking a picture of that. That looks like Ted." And she's like, "Oh my God, it does.
Don't you
like
think
Ted.
You'd know if I were on the Saturday Night Live SNL?
Oh, I know I would know, but it was. I did. I freaked out. I was like, "Oh my God, that looks just like Ted Welch."
They were sharing the They
My eyes were watered. I'm laughing so hard.
They were sharing a trailer for Bob Trevino, and I was in the trailer, my picture,
Right.
and it does look kind of like that. Like I got a mustache and a stupid baseball shirt.
Now, I have seen you with that full mustache, just like in that photo, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, I almost texted that to you, but no, I'm going to pop it to him.
You do it right here.
I'm going to pop it on the show, man. I am. Whip that out. And
it's
see
worth
it.
how hard you're laughing.
Yeah. Oh,
right
it is. Oh, man. I laughed this hard. Sit through the whole skit that night. Look at Ted dance and sing.
Probably two things you won't ever see me do on camera.
Oh. I'm crying.
Was he talking like this?
Oh, well, he was singing. It was a song number, you know. Oh. It's where he's got the beautiful, you know, ladies, and he's like so smooth with them. Yeah. You know, I got Clara.
I know what you're talking about.
I got Sarah. I got Felicia. And then Kristen Wiig comes out and she's got those little tiny hands.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got a huge forehead.
Yes.
And he goes, man, you've got a big forehead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
I remember that skit.
Oh, it was hysterical. But it was even funnier now because he looked like you. Anyway. Oh, Rocky's giving me the let's wrap it up in my ear here.
I'm sure our audience is going to love listening to you laugh for 2 straight minutes.
Well, when they see the picture. Go to our YouTube channel, Streaming Without a Paddle. Catch the video. Our video shows come out 1 week after the podcast because, you know, I don't know why.
Why not?
Marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
We're trying to monetize our YouTube.
So, yeah, speaking of which, go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please do.
And to your podcast, wherever you listen to us. We would really appreciate it because, you know, we got to hit certain barriers before they start paying for this stuff.
Yeah, and then we get the big money.
Right, and then we can quit our day jobs and really put on good shows for you guys, right? I'm sorry. I'm still thinking I've got that.
I know you are.
That image is just branded.
I'll get a mustache going for you.
Yeah. Well, we should start coming in as characters. That's what we should do.
You think so?
Show. Yeah. All right, Rocky. All right, I hear you. Shut up. All right. Everybody, thanks again for listening to Streaming Without a Paddle. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Andrew told you to do so.
Ted or Will Ferrell.
I got Sarah.